So I'll tell you on the front end that this particular video is going to be a little longer than the first few that you've watched here. This one is going to be maybe 3, 4, 5 minutes, so make sure that you have your pen and pad ready. And the reason that it's going to be a little longer is I'm going to address risk, and not just kind of the way that we think of risk, but how we as a company really address risk for you. Risk to your portfolio, risk to your return, the consistency that you're looking for as a passive investor. So I've already kind of begun to answer that a little bit with a few things I've told you. Multiple markets is one of the big things that we use to address risk. Picking the right properties in the right areas of a town, in the right neighborhoods, it's a second way that we address risk. A third way is absolutely the renovation that we do. Making sure that we don't skimp, making sure that we don't hold back, making sure that we don't leave anything to the future for you to find out as an investor, but address everything we can early on. Now, how does that help you as an investor? Well, number one, it should give you a consistent first few years of owning. You should know what to expect and how it's going to perform those first few years that you own a property. More importantly, as we try and attract the right resident for you, the right resident to live in the property that you've chosen to invest in, we want to make sure that resident is going to stay, that they're going to be there for the long haul. Now, how do we do that? Well, we have certainly not held back in investment in our company. So today we've got 75 full-time employees that are working in 3 cities. They are working in multiple different departments, from identifying and acquiring properties, evaluating those properties on the front end to make sure that we know what we know going in. We have a team that handles the entire renovation, and they oversee all of our crews. Today, there are over 1,000 people that work on our properties over this past year on some level. Now, that's a lot of hands to be touching properties for us. So we've got a robust team to handle that. We also have put a lot of money into infrastructure, into the technology side of this. So we've custom built our own programs from the ground up. Using Salesforce as a platform, we've been able to kind of integrate a system where we can identify, renovate, manage, and then manage that property going forward at our property management companies and in our customer service department. So those are 2 other places that we have taken the time to invest, train, and build up a team, all purposed for making sure your investment is secure. Now, they do that by constant contact with the residents, giving them a sense of service and really a wow experience when they come to reside in one of the properties that we manage for you as an investor. At the same time, we have a team completely designated to communicate with you and make sure that no matter where you live, you feel like you've invested right next door. That's an important aspect of this, is that we want you as an investor to know that no matter where your property is, there's someone taking care of it. There's eyes on it. There is a team member whose job is to make sure that your investment is secure. Now, all of this plays into your long-term security as an investor, but there's more to it than just that. Multifamily properties versus single-family properties. And why do we only invest in single-family? Well, I can tell you that when you choose us as a company, we've spent years now learning our craft. And one of the smartest things that we've learned is that it's not time to go experiment. It's not time to go try and do something different and try and reinvent who we are. We are the best in the country at identifying, renovating, and managing single-family properties for passive investors. There is no one better than we are. That's why we don't do multifamily, because it's not our specialty. It's not where we have cut our teeth. It's not where we've made our reputation. We are excellent at what we do, and we choose not to dilute our brand. We choose not to create more risk for our investors by trying to do things that have to be learned and have to be reinvented. That is a great way we fight risk and hold risk back for you as an investor that would choose to go forward with us as a company. Now, the last thing I'm going to touch on very quickly, and I've already addressed this in an earlier video, I told you that we're in Memphis and Dallas and Houston. As a company, we're constantly evaluating additional markets. should we move into an additional market to add more depth to the cities and more depth to the portfolios of our investors, either today or investors going forward. We're very, very close to moving into a fourth city. I think it will happen soon if it hasn't already happened. Fifth city, possibly, sixth city, possibly. Just understand that we are very methodical in our decision making. We're not the type of company that just goes off on a whim. So you're not going to find us somewhere without having done our homework, without having already gone in and known that this is a city and an opportunity that helps, that builds, that provides more security for our investors going forward. All of those are very, very extremely important factors for you to keep in mind as an investor, especially as you choose, who do I want to work with? Who do I really want to build my passive portfolio through and manage property for me going forward? So I hope you took notes right there. Stay tuned because there's more to come.